Hey guys, welcome back to Madera Farms. We are back in my upstairs kitchen, and like I said in the last video, we are going to make a daily loaf. So this is just a basic sourdough loaf that you can work on to kind of build up your skills. So I have my bread flour over here. I have my active starter that we just created in the last video. If you did not see that video and you want to start your own starter, make sure to check it out. I'll put it in the description below so you can go back and look at that video. But we did this in about 7 days, made a very active, healthy starter. And here I just have a cup and a half of warm filtered water. I use my Berkey to filter the water. So I'm going to go ahead and just pour that right into my cup. The other thing that you're going to start with, like I said, 1.5 cups warm filtered water, and then you're going to do about a cup of starter. So if you do a mason jar, the really cool thing is on the sides here you can see how much you have in there. So I have 3 cups right now, so I'm just going to pour it out until it gets to 2 cups.
I'm going to help you.
You're going to help me?
Yeah.
It's a little hard to see, but I've been doing this for a while. This is about a cup. If you want to use a cup to actually measure it out, you can totally do that. The ratio for the starter, this is content creation with kids. You can put a little bit more starter in. You can put a little bit less starter in. The idea is that you just get enough starter in to make it rise. So go ahead and mix it, Colt.
Hey guys, it's me, Colton. I make sourdough starters and...
Fast, 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 just like that.
Now we're going to put flour in?
Yep, we're going to put flour in.
We're going to put flour in.
All right, so you want to make sure it gets nice and bubbly before you add the flour. We're going to do 3 cups of flour. Okay. So let me just measure them out and you can pour them in, okay? Go ahead. So 1,
because you want to get flat.
2,
oh, bubbly,
and then 3. Go ahead.
This is easy peasy.
Easy peasy.
Sister, do you want to come help me?
We're just going to go ahead and mix all the ingredients together. You want to do that, Colt? You got to hold the bowl with one hand here, and then use that hand to mix. It's hard, so you got to use your muscles. Oh, look at those big muscles. So you're going to mix this together. Here, I can help you. Put your hand down a little bit, and I'll help you. There you go. And you're going to mix all that together. You can use a KitchenAid mixer if you want. That's perfectly fine, but just make sure that you mix it until all the ingredients get incorporated. And then you're going to get you're going to get a damp tea towel, and you're going to put that over top of this bowl and let it sit for 30 minutes. Just to recap, so far we've added 1.5 cups of warm filtered water, a cup of our active sourdough starter, 3 cups of bread flour, and then we mixed it all together in this bowl. Dough is going to be very sticky like you see here. I hope this gives a really good idea of what your dough should look like. So it's going to be sticky, but it's not going to be super wet, if that makes sense. You don't want it to be soupy. You want it to be able to pull away from the bowl when you are mixing it. So if you're in your mixer, if you do this in a KitchenAid, same thing. Like, you don't want it to be watery, you don't want it to be soupy, but you want it to be able to kind of pull away from the jar when you move it, or the bowl when you move it around. So we have that all mixed up really nice. And then you are going to take the damp tea towel and put it right over top. So I'm just using a kitchen towel to put over top, and then I'm going to set my timer for 30 minutes.
This heat mat by Autolyse is a game changer when it comes to sourdough. I can control the temperature, and it's easy to wipe down if anything were to overproof, which is really nice. It's silicone, so I just put it right on the counter, and it keeps a perfect temperature for your dough and your starter to start activating and proofing.
We are at our next step, so I am going to uncover my bowl. The dough looks no different than when we left it. And here I just have 1 tablespoon of coarse salt. I like to use like a sea salt, or in the bakery I use a pink Himalayan salt. That way you can see the salt a little bit better, especially if you use a pink Himalayan. You can really see it in there. You can also feel the coarse salt a little bit better, so you know that you're mixing it up really well. You never want to do all this work and then you go to bite in your bread and there's a huge chunk of salt that hadn't been mixed in. So I do suggest a high quality sea salt. Redmond's is a great brand. There's a bunch of good brands out there, but definitely do your research on which one you would like to use. You can always just use, your basic table salt as well, but that is up to you. The better quality ingredients you add, the more flavor your bread is going to get, especially when you get into adding inclusions and stuff like that. If you want to add, jalapenos and cheddar to your bread, the higher quality cheeses and vegetables you add, peppers, all the things, it'll just taste a little bit better. So I am just kind of mixing this all together, getting my hands in the dough, just making sure there's no real big clumps. As you can see, it is very sticky. And that's how it should be. It should be very sticky at this point. So we're just mixing it all together, making sure I don't feel any big clumps of salt or see any. Once I feel like I've gotten it all mixed together, I do go around the bowl to kind of make sure I'm getting everything that I can back into the dough. If it's sticking to my hands this much, my hands are really dry from always having flour on them. So I will just kind of go through and take it off my hands the best I can and put it into the bowl. Make sure you always are working with clean hands. I think that's kind of obvious, but just a reminder, make sure that you always have clean hands when you are working with dough or any food. So I'm going to take this towel, put it back over top, and set it back onto my heat mat. I'm going to go ahead and do our first set of stretch and folds. So throughout this process, we're going to do 4 stretch and folds. Stretch and fold literally means stretching the dough and folding it on itself. So as you can see, our dough does not look special at all right now. So what we're going to do is we are going to grab the top of our dough, stretch it, and fold it over onto itself. Then we're going to turn our bowl and we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to grab the dough, stretch it without breaking it, and fold it over onto itself. We're going to turn the bowl again. We're going to do that again. And we're going to continue to do this until we've went around the bowl twice. Once we have done that, you can see it's starting to form a dough ball. We're going to go ahead and put our towel back on and then put it right on our heating mat again. We are going to do our second stretch and fold. So we're going to do the same thing we just did. We're going to lift up and fold it onto itself. Turn the bowl a quarter a turn, lift up, fold it onto itself, do another quarter turn. And we're going to go around the bowl twice doing this. As you can see, the dough is already getting a lot more textured. You can see bubbles are starting to form right here in the dough. That is all really good signs that the starter is working, that your dough is starting to activate. And then we're going to put the towel back on and set a timer for 30 more minutes.
I just wanted to show you guys the starter is already active and ready to use because of this heat mat.
All right, so I just moved the heating mat over here so you guys could see. And as you can see, the dough is getting a little bit more dough-like. And on the bottom, we're starting to see some bubbles forming down here, which is great news. But as you can see, there's bubbles throughout the dough. Don't pop them, even though I just did just to show you. But we are going to go ahead and do another set of stretch and folds. So we're going to go ahead and pull up, fold over, pull up, fold over, go all the way around the bowl twice like we have been doing. As you can see, the dough has changed dramatically since the first stretch and fold that we did. As you can see, there we go, and it is looking so much better. All right, and we're going to put the rag on and set the timer for 30 minutes. So we are doing our last stretch and fold. So this is stretch and fold number 4. So again, we're doing the exact same thing that we've been doing. All right, and now we are going to just leave it on the mat until it doubles in size. It's really hard to tell when that's going to happen, but usually around 8 to 10 hours is a good, estimate. With this heat mat, I'm assuming it's going to go a lot quicker, which I'm excited about. I've only had this on here for about 2 hours now, and my starter is already super active and ready to go. So this heat mat is definitely making a world of difference, but we're going to let it sit, and we'll come back to it and shape it once it's ready. It is early the next morning. I'm going to go ahead and form the dough. This is what it looks like. As you can see, it's very jiggly. As you can see, it's very jiggly. There's bubbles everywhere. And when you go to dump it out of your bowl, it should fall out very easily. This might be a little overproofed if I'm being honest. But as you can see, it's coming out of the bowl fairly easy. And it's not sticking. It's not a watery mess. You can see that, thank you. You can see that there are bubbles in the dough here on the bottom of the bowl. And when it comes out, it should still hold a little bit of a form. When you touch it, it should be sticky, but it shouldn't be to the point where it's sticking all over your hands. So you should be able to touch it and pull away and not really get too much on yourself. So the way I'm going to form this dough is how I do it in the bakery. Take 2 sides. So I fold that one in. I fold this one in, kind of creating a triangle. And then I take the top, pull it up, and fold it down. So it kind of looks like an envelope. And then from here, I kind of braid the bread. So I take this side, fold it over, this side, fold it over, trying my best not to tear anything. And then I just fold it all the way down. And then when it comes to the bottom, I just flip it up and push it in. So you have this kind of like braided looking bread. From here, I just roll it from the bottom to the top. And then this is the part that's really important. You take the 2 sides and pinch them together. And then I fold in the butts. And then I use the table to create tension in the top of my bread. This is really important for making a loaf keep its shape. So as you can see, I'm pulling, using my hands, I hope this is getting in frame, up here and pulling it right along the table. And I'm going to turn the dough and do that again until it gives a really nice ball of dough. And I'm pulling it enough but not breaking any of the tension on the top. So as you can see, the bubbles are still staying at the top of the bread. You can see it right here. And then once that's done, I'm going to take my Banneton basket that I have here. I'm going to flour it just a little bit with some flour so the dough doesn't stick. And then I'm just going to transfer the bread there. It's important that the top goes on the bottom of your Banneton basket. And then you can kind of braid in the top of the bread here. And then I get these clear plastic reusable bags, put it right over top, and then this is going to go into the refrigerator to cold proof, and you can do this anywhere from 3 to 24 hours. Today is the final day. We are going to be baking the bread finally. It has been cold proofing for about 12 hours, but I'm so excited to share with you guys another amazing product. These are the best Dutch ovens. They are so gracious to send this to me, and I also have a coupon code for you guys. If you use the link in the description, you'll get 15% off. This is a great gift for Mother's Day if you're looking for someone who's a bread baker. Totally worth it. These are the Krustic enamel cast iron bread ovens. This is the 6-quart, and I got it in black just because I'm a black and white kind of girl. But they are so pretty. And the thing that I love about them most is, one, they come with a bread sling, which is obviously great. And then the other thing is, unlike other Dutch ovens, the top is the larger part and the bottom is the smaller part, which is usually reverse. So when you bake bread, it's going to get a nice crust all the way around your bread. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this in the oven to preheat, and we are going to bake with it. I cannot wait. Today is the final day. We are going to be baking the bread finally. It has been cold proofing for about 12 hours, but I'm so excited to share with you guys another amazing product. These are the best Dutch ovens. They are so gracious to send this to me, and I also have a coupon code for you guys. If you use the link in the description, you'll get 15% off. This is a great gift for Mother's Day if you're looking for someone who's a bread baker. Totally worth it. These are the Krustic enamel cast iron bread ovens. This is the 6-quart, and I got it in black just because I'm a black and white kind of girl. But they are so pretty. And the thing that I love about them most is, one, they come with a bread sling, which is obviously great. And then the other thing is, unlike other Dutch ovens, top is the larger part and the bottom is the smaller part, which is usually reverse. So when you bake bread, it's going to get a nice crust all the way around your bread. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this in the oven to preheat, and we are going to bake with it. To bake your bread, you're going to preheat your oven at 365 degrees. You're going to put your Dutch oven right inside while it preheats. For this bake, we are going to use the bread sling that comes with the Krustic Dutch ovens, which I'm really liking this. I like how it has the holes right here. A lot of them don't have that. This is going to make it really easy to pull out of the Dutch oven, even though it is more shallow. So what I always do is I put flour right on the bread sling. Now, if you don't have a bread sling, perfectly fine. Just use some parchment paper. That will work just as well. So we have our bread right here in our Banneton. I'm going to go ahead and flip it over right onto our paper here, or our bread sling. There was flour in the bottom, so I'm just rubbing that over top. If you want more of a contrast, you can use more flour, you can use bread flour, whatever you want. If you want more of a blistered look, you can spray it with water. All those techniques really work. So next we're going to score the bread. You can score it however you want. You can do a simple X, you can do whatever you want. I actually do what's called a wheat stalk. So I hope you can see this. Let me turn. So on this side of the bread, I'm going to take the lahm, and I use this lahm. You can get them on Amazon. I think they're $8, but they're super nice. I like the smaller ones rather than the longer ones. You get a little more control. And then you are just going to slice into the bread. If you're making the wheat stalk, the key is to keep it more vertical than horizontal, because once it bakes, it's going to open up. So if you go like this, like if you were to cut this way, it's going to open this way instead of like that. I hope that makes sense. So I'm just going to bring these lines straight down. And you can do as many as you want, as little as you want, whatever you feel comfortable, or whatever you want. I'm going to do another one up here on the top just to give it a little bit more decoration. Okay, and then from here I'm going to do my expansion score. You always do your decorative scores, then your expansion score. So the key to an expansion score is holding your loam as parallel to the counter as you can, and then you're going to cut into the bread. Okay. All right, so we have that. All right, so we have that. I'm going to turn it just so you guys can see. So as you can see here, I made a little jagged cut, but that's fine. You can see that the lip is already forming, which is great. That's what you want. We're going to go ahead and pop it into the Dutch oven. Okay, remember your Dutch oven is very, very hot. It's at 465, so you want to make sure that you are wearing good gloves. We're going to pull it out. We're going to slide the bread sling right inside. This makes it super easy to carry. It's going to go right in here. And I've always kept my slings inside the oven, so I'm going to do that. I'm just going to make sure when I put this on that I'm getting the slings inside. So just like that. And we're going to put it in the oven for 30 minutes. We're going to put it in the oven for 35 minutes. While that's in the oven, I just wanted to kind of chat. It has been such a hectic few days, and I feel like everyone is going through it. I don't know if it's like the change of seasons and everyone's just like getting ready for spring and our minds are going crazy, but I don't know. I've been having a rough few days here. I'm just being honest with you guys. Just feeling a little burnout, maybe. I don't know what it is, but I'm just having a hard time. So if you are having a hard time and you're struggling a little bit, no, you are not alone. I am working on trying to just take things one day at a time, because for myself, I'm sure there are a lot of people out there, we think in our heads that we have so much to do and it's so hard and it's so daunting, and though that can be very true, we only have so much time in a day. We can only do so much, so you just have to be realistic. You can't do everything. So that's my little spiel. If you guys are feeling a little overwhelmed or just not yourselves, I'm there. Gotcha. Totally see you.
It's been 35 minutes, so I took the lid off, let it bake for another 10 minutes just to crisp up, and you can see it turned a golden brown. It is so pretty. I just wanted to show you guys in this video how easy it is to make a loaf of sourdough bread, and I'm hoping you find value in this video. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Share this video with your friends, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.